Welcome to the Prop Market. I'm your host, the Prop King, and today I have my 2024 college football week 4 prop picks and best bets part 2. So part 1, that show's already live. If you want to go ahead and check out my channel and look at part 1, I have 9 great prop picks for you along with 2 best bets. My best bet for my spread pick has already hit. I'll talk about that a little later. And also one of our prop picks have already hit. So we're 1-0 on props and 1-0 on best bets as we're getting into this Saturday slate. With that being said, I feel like I'm on a heater right now. This video is probably going to be a money tree. So go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel and definitely lock in to my part 1 video, which will have more detail over all the picks. But I have 3 more picks for you today, which will give me 12 picks, an even dozen. And let me go ahead and get into my first pick, which is Thomas Castellanos from BC. Average fantasy score is 24.2. Projected fantasy score, I got him going a little lower at 23.4. I do respect this Michigan State defense. But Thomas in his last 3 games is at 21.56, 26.16, and 25.14. So he's went over this number in his last 3 games, but this season, and also his last 5 games in total. So he's on it. If you can see, he's hitting this number consistently because he can do it with his arm and with his legs. Super talented guy. I love this over 21.5 fantasy score for him. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game than people think. Hopefully, Aiden Childs is able to give us something to kind of push Thomas to kind of make more plays this week. Next guy is Zachariah Branch from USC. A super electric guy. Fantasy score average is at 7.7. It's down this year, but I have him projected 11.2, which is close to what I had him at the beginning of the season. His number is super low right now because he's not getting a lot of opportunities. But looking at this Michigan defense, and a lot of people are scared away, but I see this being one of the few guys that are super electric. They're going to try to get the ball to in many ways. He's going to get the ball rushing the ball. He'll get some reverses. They'll get some ways to get this guy the football and some trick plays. And also, I think they'll give him a good pass down the field, and I also see him getting pop passes as well. I see him getting over this number because I don't think they can run the vanilla offense of just running the football versus this Michigan team. I think there'll be a lot of trick plays for just for him. So I like him over 9.5 fantasy score, a very low score for probably their best player. Next guy is Jarquez Hunter, senior from Auburn. Rush receiving yards averages at 99. Projected rushing receiving yards 113. So his average is a little lower than what the numbers set this week, but that's for good reason because he's coming off 166 yards last game. I see him having a lot of opportunities here as they're starting a freshman quarterback who I don't know if they trust him or not going against this Arkansas defense. They're going to start off getting Hunter the football, whether that be rushing or giving him some screen passes, which I see him being very dangerous in those situations. So I love him here. It's a great spot for him. I love this guy over 107 rushing receiving yards. I love his fantasy score even more if they can go ahead and give that to us on Prize Picks. But if you're in a DraftKings or any type of league, for fantasy sports, I like this guy for your fantasy sport leagues for sure. Now to my best bets. Like I said, we already hit with the Illinois versus Nebraska plus 10 Illinois. Not only did they cover, they cashed. So that's great for us. We're starting off 1-0. Hopefully, I made you guys some money already. Now we're going to look at this Arkansas Auburn game. As I kind of explained in my first video more in detail, I think it's going to be more of a track meet. Neither defense to me is great. I think they're both going to give up huge plays, which is going to be quick scoring. I like this over 58.5 for Arkansas versus Auburn. Now for my recap, I got Alex Orji over 170 pass plus rush yards. As the week's going on, this number's got a little higher. I don't like where it is right now. It's at like 175. I definitely probably wouldn't bet that one. Avery Johnson over 238 pass plus rush yards. Green over 207 passing yards. Arnold over 243. You can get it at 241 now. I also like his fantasy score. Gordon over 102 rush plus receiving yards. I also like his fantasy score at 17.5. We already cashed with my man A Maynor over 57.5 receiving yards. He cashed that easily. On the last drive, I think he had that 57 yards. He's just a stud. He's 2-0 for us. Lacy over 76.5 receiving yards. Sanders over 308 passing yards. Shedeur Sanders has been a cash cow for us. Hopefully he continues. I also like his fantasy score, which is just set at like 20. Card over 197 passing yards. Branch over 9.5 fantasy score. Castellone is over 21.5 fantasy score, and Hunter over 107.5 rush plus receiving yards. If you found anything in this video to be useful, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and like and subscribe. I am your tour guide for college football, and I will be posting an NFL football um, show coming really soon. So like I said, turn the notices on and let's cash.